Tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
And welcome everyone to this lovely Friday. It is week 9 here with the Hearthstone League for NECC Games. My name is Orbital, again, joined by Witta. We are opening this week with some fantastic challengers action. Witta, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, but I'm also is anxious the right word to use? Like when we look at the decks that these players brought, so we have Prime Monster and Sasajiro going against each other today right now for our 6 p.m. match, obviously, right? But like Prime Monster's decks, I mean, there's like both players have brought like one deck each that is just completely out there, and you could probably substitute for a much better deck. But again, we love some spice. Again, food is very boring without spice. Life is boring without spice. And I was trying to think of a third thing that was boring without spice. I don't know. Some people drink spiced tea, so let's just say tea is boring without spice. But the spice in this situation, at least, includes an elemental shaman that runs double tidal wave, despite being a board-centric deck, just because they need to have something to proc the primordial protector. Again, then there's a very standard, very traditional Death and Taxes Paladin, like, you know, Libram and Secrets. Then there is the deck of Luminous Mage, Spell Mage, call what you want. Been a plague pretty much ever since the day one of the expansion, so again, people know this deck by now. This is still the older list, quote-unquote, with the Cthulhu in there. Again, most people have come to the conclusion that they want to cut the Cthulhu, because the spells themselves, obviously, they aren't great, and 8-mana spell pool at the moment is also sort of not where you want it to be. There are a lot of very minion-heavy versions of that, in the sense that like, it pulls for a death from your deck, or something resurrection, stuff like that. Obviously, it doesn't interact very well with a no-minion deck. No-minion mage. So, we are in-game already, as I just have to get myself into orbit. Why don't you take the viewers on for this?
Yeah, well, I believe this is actually the band game, if I'm not mistaken. So we do have quite a few different decks, like you were talking about. We do have the Shaman for Pie Monster, the Paladin, the Mage, and the Rogue. And on the side, Sasajiro, who is currently sitting at third, by the way, already locked in his playoff spot. He is running the Druid, the Paladin, the Hunter, and the Rogue. And both players have opted to actually ban away the Paladin deck, so we won't have to see that mirrored Libram Paladin deck that's been completely dismantling, right, the rank ladder, and the one that I think you aptly put it as a snooze fest, right? Just this deck that you see it so often. It's also very boring to play against or to play with.
Absolutely. So the last deck in the lineup here for Pie Monster is going to be a weapon/poison rogue, right? Pretty much the remnants of the old school aggro rogue that we saw come through, like being a menace, obviously, in the previous metagame. However, still a very good deck, just with a few little tweaks here or there. Again, some cards went, some cards stayed, some new cards came in. But on the opposite side of the field here, Sasajiro has probably two spicy decks, actually. He has a Guardian Animal Survival Druid, but without the Celestial Alignment in there. Instead is running Talon is running double Druid of the Plains. Again, Druid of the Plains, pretty hyped card when we saw it in the preview, obviously, right? It looked like Frenzy, and it's amazing, but really hasn't hit home just yet. But maybe this is the type of deck to do it. Again, the Paladin was just on screen right there, getting banned away. Then there is a Primordial Protector Hunter build with like double the Grand Slam, Carnival Clowns, just a lot of interesting. But the thing is that you're running Carnival Clown, right? But there's no Yashiraj in that to recycle the corrupted cards in your deck, right? So your only way to corrupt the Carnival Clowns out in the Grand Slams, just like you can tool them with the Primordial Protector. But still, it seems a little bit shaky to me, not gonna lie. However, also running it out is going to be a pretty traditional aggro stealth rogue, actually. Again, a deck that didn't lose too much here, so a quick reschedule of what's going on here.
We will go ahead and get underway for our first game, of course, but you said, again, spice coming out for these guys, and again, in the last week, of course, this is the time to bring that spice, right? You want to be able to bring some of that hype. To keep in mind what's at stake here, like I said, Sasajiro has already locked in locked in playoff spots, so mostly playing for seeding here in the Challengers division. However, Pie Monster still hasn't locked in that playoff position, so winning here would be the ticket in, of course. Really need that win on the board, so it is for all the marbles. As we do get underway, I believe we'll go ahead and see this first match. And again, some interesting decks, and of course I'm curious to see what they do decide to open with. It will be the Mage versus Rogue. Pie Monster opting for that outdated Lunacy deck, and then Sasajiro with that Stealthy Rogue.
Well, I wouldn't call the entire deck outdated, right? But the thing is that there aren't those magic Cthulhu's in there, for example, right? But the thing is that the Evolving Missiles keep in this specific matchup. Yes, I can understand why you want to do that to a certain extent, right? You want to be able to, get rid of the Sneaky Delinquent, stuff like that, but there aren't that many minions, right? That's something that's very important to note, to hit there, and I feel like you would much rather try to hit Incantus Flow, trying to hit the deck of Lunas, right? The cards that make your deck go around. And those cards aren't hit right now, and quite luckily, as a Pie Monster, it's a fairly slow opener here for Sasajiro. Obviously, Prep Swindle here could change everything that could go on just like that. A single stealth minion, and then this Greyheart Sage just comes rolling and rolling and rolling. That's not... Wait, okay. Decides to opt for this and coins us out. So, interesting thing here, right? And this is something that you probably don't have to think too much about at the moment, due to, this thing is... Obviously, we can see the Evolving Missiles. But, if you wanted to guarantee the card draw from the Greyheart Sage alongside the Spy Mistress, you could have held back the coin to go Spy Mistress, coin, Greyheart Sage on the following turn to keep the cycle train going. And if Pie Monster decides to just unleash this Evolving Missiles because it lines up quite nicely with their mana here, right? So you got Evolving Missiles and you ping off the 0-drop that's going to come through. Now, Sasajiro just has a straight up dead turn here. Obviously can Dagger Up and Deadly Poison, but who wants to do that? And set with Pie Monster, that is the wrong 2-mana legendary spell. However, both Flurry, Fireball, and Evocation are, all three of these options are actually fairly okay to consider.
Able to take the pick of the litter there, and of course that's what Pie Monster is sitting on. We saw last week Pie Monster actually lose out on a comeback victory due to a misclick, messed up a combo with the Warrior, so that's why we don't see the Warrior here. So taking his time this time around and going with the 0-cost Flurry. Going ahead and opted for that. The Sneaky Delinquent going to be drawn up, but the Worgen Infiltrator will go ahead and be thrown down. That's going to drop a 2-1 and 3-1, both stealth up. So going to have to wait and see how Pie Monster deals with this cloaked disadvantage, and that's going to be Deca Lunacy drawn. Brain Freeze as well, but all eyes on that card.
Yeah, so right now you have to consider, is it worth it to do it, right? And I think I would probably go for it right now. You are still fairly healthy. You probably have a bit of time. And I think it's fine right now to go for a Springwater, you want to hold the Springwater, should I say, for a post-deck of Lunacy World. So, I'm down to just get this deck of Lunacy out here right now, just play the Flurry just to hold back an attack, save yourself a couple of mana, ping your opponent's face, and just get it over with here. I guess you can hold back the Flurry because the next turn is going to block 2 attacks, but again, it depends on how you really want to let things slide. However, Greyheart Sage... Gonna come down here. Great cards, and just try again, just rounding out that mana. And again, no Incantus Flows has been played. So again, a lot of 8-mana spells in the deck. And as we've been discussing, those 8-mana spells aren't the greatest per se. But again, Refreshing Spring was gonna come out here. Again, it's just insane. And again, the ability now to corrupt this Cascading Disaster, actually, once here, allows Pie Monster to send the Apex Blast to the face, ping off the 2-1 or the 3-1, whichever you prefer, and then Cascading Disaster, which I would say is again, so, case in point here, right? What we've been talking about with those 5-mana spells from the Cthulhu coming through. What is Jewel on the Soft going to do for Pie Monster right now? Right? This is one of the reasons why, in an attempt to make a somewhat RNG deck, right? It is RNG based, but it's controlled randomness, and just try to make it much more controlled. And when you have, because right now, Pie Monster just a useless card in hand for the rest of the game in that Jewel on the Soft.
Yeah, that's gonna be sitting there, but we'll take a look. Sasajiro trying to scramble together and make sure that he preps properly. Gonna go ahead and drop that self-sharpening sword and bring back a couple extra cards that he had in his hand before. Goes ahead and drops the Spy Mistress as well. So big questions for Pie Monster here. What he wants to do, what he wants to attack next. A couple options, and of course sitting with that Survival of the Fittest doesn't feel great in his hand with what he has, but he has enough. He has enough. The Hellfire sitting at a 1 cost, of course, and that can clear out once the stealth is dissipated, or however you want to say it. It's going to be the Cascading Disaster. Went ahead and dropped.
Yeah, again,
Goes ahead
casting.
Yeah.
Again, like, it just lines up nicely. Again, this is the play that Paimons was setting up for last turn with, you know, going for the line that I disagree with, but again, was the line that they decided to go for. However, now we're just waiting for a reconnect. 1 second, apparently. Should be fixed very shortly. But let's just take a second here. Look at the amount of damage in the hand of Sasajiro. Deadly poison, deadly poison. Oh, no Impaler could. Oh no! This is probably not going to be too impactful, right? Because the Wicked Step is there to help it out alongside the Prize Plunderer. But that is still, like, that could have been a disaster hour coming through right there. But again, target, like, in the whole vein of disaster hours, this weapon by itself from Sasajiro presents 2-turn lethal. That's just the power of this Weapon Rogue deck. It's one of the main reasons why you would bring it. And that Deep Freeze, yes, it's fantastic, but it might as well just be a little bit too late right there, because it, you know, it doesn't properly fit in just in this turn right now. I mean, you're gonna take 7, Rancor plus D. Like, there are some interesting combos right here, right? You send a 3/5 to the face, then you Brain Freeze your own minion, then you Rancor for 4 armor. I mean, it works, right? It works. It gives you 4 armor, it potentially gives you a little bit more life you would need to line up with that Deep Freeze coming through here. Rally doesn't give you anything. Nothing has been death this game so far. And again, we do not see the lines. Again, yes, it's a race against time, obviously, but even then, this is still like you're just waiting for Sasajiro to hit 2 more damage over the course of 2 turns. Yes, obviously, with the Deep Freeze coming down next turn, this is going to heavily impact what's going to come down here. But this is just disgusting. This is what the deck does, right? Because yes, even though Deep Freeze is going to come down and freeze the weapon, now there's the thing of circulation coming through, and then again, there's just the minions on the board we can't really deal with without having to give up a little bit. So again, I guess Cenarian Ward Hour right here, like it makes sense to a certain extent, but even then, you would like to go like something like Cenarian Ward plus the Deep Freeze, but again, you're still 2 men off doing that. Again, no Incantus Flows being found here, which is really going to impact us. Goes for the Hellfire. Okay, I mean, it makes sense as a play for Cenarian Ward specifically. However...
Yeah, has to throw that down.
However, Deep Freeze heals for 10, Cenarian Ward heals for 8. There are minion outcomes from Cenarian Ward that you need to look out for. That would make sense. Obviously, you have the Dreadlords of the world, etc., taunts, healing, all that good stuff. But... the Deep Freeze is guaranteed 10 healing. You need the Hyro to come through right there. Alkia, the Windlord, is signing me up here. Taunt Wind Fury. Pair that up next turn with that Survival of the Fittest, and it's starting to look a lot like Lethal here. But again, Secret Passage can change everything.
That was a draw of draws that he needed, and another set of Cell Sharpening, Swords, Cutting Class, Wicked Stab. I don't think this is lethal at all. This is gonna just be a throw a little bit of some damage.
It's 2 off, right? Because
as long
that's just lethal. Because the Wicked Staff comes down now along onto the Alakir. Wait, no, what?
Is it? He's trying.
No, man.
He's not.
This is extended PM, prep, Penflinger, Wicked Staff. Again, it can be quite hard sometimes to look at those 2 mana spells and come through like that, but... nah.
Oh, yeah. There it is. A little bit of a cut down. It looks so good, and then Sasajiro got a little bit better of an RNG setup, so that is going to be Piemonster going ahead, losing the first game. A little back and forth, pretty entertaining, but still rough goings.
I mean, there were some specific moments in that game that you can look back on. Obviously, again, with the cast division, it's a lot easier for us, or me in this situation, obviously, right? But like, to make that call and say there's a much better line presented somewhere, but again, obviously, they don't know that again because they don't have the vision of the opponent's hand. that would make Hearthstone a very weird game. Or, I mean, it would just be, you know, your everyday priest game because you just mind render Illusion and screw everyone's day up. But in that specific situation, that's going to be rough, right? But again, it's a matchup that you bring the rogue to this particular matchup because, again, with the way that this particular mage deck is built, a lot of the times it just tends to fall low, right? Because it cannot afford to run stuff like Acidic Swarm Boost, Harrison Jones, etc. at the anti-weapon tech. Because again, when you look at it, why would they? They need to have no minions in the deck for a lot of those things to really come through. But it is what it is. Pymonster again, the back against the wall. But now we get to see some pretty interesting decks from Sasajiro. It's either going to be the Druid, or it's going to be that Hunter.
Oh, that'll be a fun one, and we'll see if Pymonster actually opts to go back into that mage. Had a little bit of hope, and yeah, that is going to be the mage coming out once again into the Druid. So this is the Wolfpack Survival deck that he's running, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
This is the Survival of the Fittest Guardian Animals. Was that a full keep in the mulligan, by the way? Again, that felt like a full keep mulligan, and not mulliganing for Dagger Lunacy and Incantus Flow, again, just seems kinda incorrect to me. Like, it makes no sense. You need to have those big high roll moments, right? You need to have those in the Grand Slams, etc. coming through, but again, Aegwynn is nice, but again, there are no minions in the deck for Aegwynn to transfer over to. So
Yeah.
it's still just a 5-mana 5/5 with 2 spell damage, which again has its innate value, and with the Primordial Studies buff, it's going to be a 4-mana one for now, right? But I mean, this mulligan, for me at least, just feels incorrect now. So why are we taking the lap partner? Again, like, it just doesn't make sense. So there is a real possibility right here for Sasajiro particularly, that there's just too much ramp, and which in turn is going to mean that this hand will just dry out. And again, obviously, Pymonster gets rewarded for taking the lap partner by the Crime Session pickup here. So Apex Blast number 2, and another Primordial Studies presenting itself.
Yep. This is, like you said, not getting the cards that he's hoping for. He's gonna, Sasajiro is gonna go ahead, drop one of the Wild Growths, and kind of prep for the upcoming settings. And once again, the Guess the Weight and Overgrowth. Yeah, might not be getting what exactly he wants. This is gonna be Pymonster going ahead, trying to throw down just a little bit of fun. Takes a little bit of the shield, and the Talon coming in pretty dang quick. 5 costs, can drop it now if he wants, but probably wants to wait just for a little bit.
Yeah, so it's worth noting that I feel like Sasajiro in of his own is probably pretty happy with where this hand is at. Right, again, he is able to push himself up to those very high mana totals very, very, very quickly. The thing is that you run enough ramp to get there, and then you just kind of hope to not see the other ramp cards in the deck, because after a given point in time, cards like Overgrowth and Wild Growth quickly become the worst cards in the deck here. Talking about the worst cards in the deck, Incantus Flow is definitely not one of those. So this is a pretty good position to be in right now. Blood Mage Falno is at least going to present himself a little bit of card draw for Sasajiro, much needed. Obviously, you never want to see your 5/4 just getting away like that. Okay, I mean, at least there is the opportunity to go for the Lightning Bloom into the Primordial Prospector, right? Decides against that, just wants to draw even further here with the Guess the Weight. Let's see what the outcome is going to be. I didn't get to see it on my tracker apparently, but it was definitely
doesn't get it.
it was not the correct one, so it's an expensive card, or a card that costs about as much here. So something I want to see right now is that the Mini-Mage stays in stealth to play around the potential of a Lake Fresher coming through from the Primordial. From the Guardian Animals, obviously, but 3 damage, a lot of damage to give up on as well, right? And
yeah.
So let's just go back to the Mage deck while Druid does Druid stuff. So what Druid tends to want to do, right? Like, what is their alpha omega, their game plan? Is that they can act like a burn deck. But the thing is that when you're playing the quote-unquote Overlist without the Massive Cthulhu's, you're currently like you're missing out on like 10 to 20 extra face damage, or like damage overall, that can help you close out games. So while this game of Pymonster right now is literally just burn out my opponent, has a very real chance it's just not gonna happen here, but Primordial Prospector is gonna find that survival of the fittest here. Summon a 10-drop alongside itself. Summons a nice little 12-12 alongside the strong man. And this board it's pretty damn hard to deal with, right? And that's the thing that now needs to be considered. Obviously, Morgathun can deal with a 12-12, but Flame Strike without the age-old. I didn't say age-old. Without the spell damage, you know, cannot. Yes, it did get buffed to 5 damage, but again, it doesn't deal with the 2 6/6s. So again, needs to find a different way of dealing with those.
Yeah, might be in a little bit of trouble. Goes ahead, drops the secret, double secret actually, counterspell. Plus mirror entity, so praying that a heavy-handed, but I mean it's an open board. Sasajiro goes ahead, drops a little bit of damage. Another primordial, and that's gonna be a 7/5 Yogg-Saron. Having some fun, but it's mirrored on the flip side and doesn't get the battle cry, unfortunately. So that's just gonna be a trade of the primordials, and this is already looking like lethal coming out next turn if Pie Monster can't draw what he wants.
Ooh, Fauna Power could give spell damage here. You're looking for either. You're looking like. Again, looking for that Astromancer, looking for the 1/8, didn't get it. So that means that yes, this Flame Strike, it's nice and lovely, jubbly and all, but still not really what you want it to be at, obviously. Dagger Lunacy, nowhere to be seen, so you're still working with cards in your deck. Again, nice being well aware of that counter spell. Carnival Clown coming to the hand now has been corrupted as well, so it's going to be quite hard, right? Obviously, 10/5 come through with the Apexis Blast, but the thing is that there is going to be an entire wave of 8/8s coming through on this turn up next, and the damage that, you know, Pie Monster was trying to push through his opponent's face, no longer present. And who knows, maybe this is just the secret tech that we've been looking for, right? Like, maybe this is just a lineup that beats Mage every day of the week. You never know. But again, Carnival Clown coming through in its corrupted stance. And as far as I'm aware, there's no card in the Mage stack that really helps you deal with this. Like, double Flame Strike is the only one that comes to mind. Flame Strike alongside Hearthstone, but again, that's not really possible right here. So, Ruined Arm doesn't give anything. Deck of Lunacy, a little bit too late, but again, could have marked for it, and maybe it would have come up sooner, right? That's the thing we have to keep considering. There were plenty of options in the mulligan phase, but again, obviously, it could just be a spectator glitch that we didn't get to see it. But they're definitely, like, the opening mulligan here is definitely not something that I would agree with. And this Hearthstone, it's all lovely and jolly, but again, Ice Block not in standard, so this board is going to swing into the face of Pie Monster. Some might say he got pied, but he's down 0-2, and he has to climb his way back up in the series.
Oh, man. What's worse than having a fear of clowns is watching 6 of them just stare you down, right? Like, that is the worst feeling in the world. It is now 0-2, like you stated, and Pie Monster has got to come back from the brinks of destruction. Final deck coming out here, I believe, is going to be that Primordial Hunter from Sasajiro. Yes. The one that you were talking about had some concerns and some spice coming out to it. If this is Mage 3rd in a row, which I have, it's not. It's actually the Rogue. So Hunter versus Rogue here. I mean, what do you think of this matchup?
I think it should be Rogue favorite, right? Because again, we're talking about this. The Rogue is a very quick deck. Again, there's no one's really running any weapon removal at the moment as well. And again, the deck here, if you give the Hunter the deck time to do its thing, the game very much does not want to align itself the way you want to align it, right? So try to get under the deck of the Hunter, which is like a very slow control mid-range type of deal, like very top-end heavy, very top-end dependent, and just try to get out ahead of it. Because again, the lower part of the deck from Sasajiro is a very control-oriented thing. Like, we're looking at Double Bowler Shot, we're looking at Call Card Pack Runner, which is a fantastic card, by the way, one of my favorite cards of the set. Wound Prey, stuff like that, right? We're looking at pretty defensive options, Deadly Shot, etc. It's not really built to deal with the self-softening sword and those types of shenanigans. Yeah, I like the prep of the Deadly Poison because, again, with another prep in hand already, might as well just start cranking up the damage, and you have a cutting class. Again, the cheaper it gets, the better it is for you to cycle it. You're just gonna prep it out. Okay, never mind. I was about to say that's a little bit too juicy to do that. But so again, Sasajiro is just gonna press Hero Power Pass for the next couple of turns, pretty much. So
Yeah.
prep
It
that.
feels bad grabbing that Carnival Clown too on this turn. Like, just it's gonna sit in there for a while.
Oh, wait, you can prep onto it with the Silver Leaf Poison as well here. So now Pie Monster has a continuous card draw engine with the weapon swing coming up as well. So this weapon now deals 15 extra damage. So effectively speaking right now, Sasajiro is at 5. Just to put into perspective about how insane this actually is. I think that was summon 2 taunts, which is again pretty good because again, it's pretty yeah, like it's pretty direct from Pie Monster here. Like, he has to deal damage to the minions pretty organically when it has to swing in with his face, etc. So why would you ever go lifesteal? So again, I understand why. Okay, like, it makes sense in the same vein where it's like, okay, whatever type of deal. This is just lethal, by the way. Paralytic Poison, Sinister Strike.
Yeah.
And the Wicked Stab is just lethal, but it's just more. It's one of those situations where it's like, wouldn't you just heal more by just, making your opponent have to face tank and put in the last weapon charge? But again, Pie Monster gets back onto the board at least, right, with that.
Yeah. And I mean, at this point, it's very enjoyable just listening to you go on, because it's like, it's so just very simplistic in the way you lay it out, in the fact that a lot of those cards just did not fall in that favor. And again, the Rogue, again, just kind of barreling its way through, getting a lot of those self-sharp swords. So that is going to be the Rogue taking the win, but again, dropping down into the Shaman and Mage to finish it off. We've already seen the Mage falter twice in these scenarios, and now, again, up against this Hunter where we see it, that slow ramping just didn't work out this time around. If Sasajiro is able to come out with a little better setup and preparation, what do you think we'll be able to see? Like, will it go in favor of the Hunter this time around, or is it still going to falter on the wayside for Pie Monster to kind of come out in the lead and possibly push us to a game 5?
So I've been playing OTK Hunter, which is a little bit different. It revolves around Beastmaster Leorox, stuff like that. And I have a pretty good stats against Mage with that deck. I think most people that play those type of Hunters actually do. But the thing here is, for Pie Monster, like, first as a Jiro, right? Like, I don't know if this core of the hunt that they're running is actually as good in that sense, where it's actually quick enough. Because again, the deck coming through from the other Hunter, like, it has like these massive burst turns of upwards of 30 damage. Those burst turns do not exist. Like, Mage can deal with big boards. Again, it's worth noting, yes, there is Carnival Clowns in here, but in Hunter, they stay at 4/4s, so they're much easier to deal with compared to like an onslaught of 8/8s for Pie Monster, right? So the big thing here now becomes whether or not there's going to be any significant early game boards that needs to be dealt with, because if Pie Monster can just like sort of slowly but surely just rush through, or sorry, like just relax through until late mid game, it should be quite alright.
That's what he's hoping for. And again, once again, grabbing that slam early just kind of hurts a bit in terms of what he's trying to go for. But the Professor Slate gonna be slowing around the Font of Power. Let's see what he decides to go for. A couple picks: the Occult, Glacier, and Varden. So happy with that. Goes ahead, drops a 3/1 Mini Mage into a Cram Session buffed up, and draws a Fireball plus another Primordial Studies. So getting a few good early draws to kind of stack his hand for the coming turns.
Yeah, so now this is the type of game where you have to sit back and figure out, if I draw Lunacy right now, do I actually go for Lunacy? Because again, look at this, like Apexis Blast, double Fireball, not entirely able to be played in the same turn, but even then, like looking at it, like Fireball is Fireball, that's 12, that's 17 damage, it's slowly but surely it's time to ramp up. Oh, I would always go Wild Wine here, yes, and Sasajiro agrees. But now, Pie Monster has to deal with this board. Can do that. I mean, like, wouldn't just like Apexis Blast to 3/4 instead? Like, it does the same thing pretty much, in my opinion at least.
Might be an option that he goes for, but still kind of dancing about. He is going to go ahead and go for the Apexis Blast and drop 6. He is going to go ahead and summon up a 3/6 high Abyss Allura. He's sitting on that Spellburst, so sitting pretty. And evolving missiles.
Watch this cast Dega Lunacy, by the way. Watch this be Dega Lunacy. I'm so sorry. Yes, let's go. Okay, that's amazing. Right? We were talking about this. We're discussing this. This might not be what Monster was looking for. Like what they were aiming to do. Because again, like slow but sure, like the burst was like coming together, all together, just having fun, enjoying life. But right now, that is not the case. Bola shot here, however, is just going to nicely clean everything up alongside those tame beasts and the wounded prey with the hyena. So, what do you even do here? Like, what? The thing is that we don't know what's going to come off the top here. Sprint is a good start. It's card draw at least. And even with Sprint, you're able to still ping off. Cola Cold alongside the Glacial. Okay. Mirror Entity works. No, you can kill everything here. Just play Glacial Ranger.
He's gonna. I think he just remembered that he had it in his hand. You can see him like, I'm gonna wait. I have a card for this. And is he?
But it's actually kind of awkward, okay? Because I understand the reasoning for maybe being a little bit.
There it goes. Okay.
Because again, there's also the Warden. Vaden, probably right, like Vaden Dawngrasp again, which is a. I don't like the entity, and the reason why I don't like it is that now our occult conjurer doesn't do anything. But again, Talon pretty bad into entity, right? So okay. Had this been like, had this deck had any minions in here, right? Initiation onto Talon like this would be so insane, but you know what? Like it really isn't.
Feels bad.
It's still good, right? Because it's still a taunt wall with Divine Shield. Right, I'm setting up more taunts? Just start slinging the fireballs to the face. You know, I don't know what's in my deck. I do not know whether or not that's going to kill you. But I will definitely make a pretty damn strong claim for that spot.
All right, drops the Greater Golem as well. So goes for a little bit of help there.
White Living with Hope coming through. That's fine.
That's 9 plus a fire. Very close. I think it might be shy off. I think it's shy off just a little bit. So drops that Taunt Divine on the Ancient Guardian. Opts not to. So sitting at lethal now, I believe, pretty simply. And so I think Sasajiro just has to concede here. Wasn't able to draw the cards that he needed.
Doesn't matter if you mulligan for a Dega Lunacy, you will always find a way. Like, so Apexis Blast into Allura, into Reduced Evolving Missiles, into Dega Lunacy, into winning the game. I mean, that sounds like a surefire way to win the game. Fail safe, idiot safe, you know it. Hearthstone for dummies, what is not there to enjoy? But again, Sasajiro can tracking out here, maybe find something again. Can coin into this to this Primordial Prospector, but I don't think there's a 10 drop in the game that keeps them in with the knowledge that we have, right? I guess it actually allows him to Strongman.
I mean, he can sacrifice, though. I think it'd still be fine.
It doesn't matter. Fireball,
yes. Just going to be taken out. That's going to be around 4 going to Pie Monster. So Pie Monster clawing back and third time the charm with this mage.
Finally finds the win that I think we might have lost Obel, or I have lost myself. But now we are back 2-2. Hunter versus
Shaman, I believe.
Okay, so we're gonna see Primordial, like double Primordial Protected X, I guess. And I do not know what's gonna happen in this matchup. I will say though that a lot of the the early presence from the Shaman is very minion centric, right? And again, if the correct removal core from the Hunter comes through, then the Hunter's late game is a lot more, like a lot stronger, I would say, right? Obviously that makes sense, but I mean, what's really gonna happen here, right? That's the thing that we need to be looking at. But again, Nimbus Arid Stormer is a pretty good 2-3 turn punch, but question is it going to be enough?
Well, I think we're going to see a couple swap outs by Sasajiro here. A couple seconds left, about 15 to decide if he wants to or not. Using Primordial Protector earlier, having that in your hand just kind of slows the tempo down, so I think they're both going to swap it out. You can see it on both sides. That's going to be the swap out. Instead, draws the Talents is still a little bit high cost for what he was probably hoping to go. Actually going to hang on to it, so Pie Monster opts to hang on to that card and drops the Kindling Elemental to kick things off here in the 5th game.
The thing is that this allows them to play Arid Stormer turn 2, so it's the turn 2 Rush Wind Fury 2-5. That is it's pretty okay here. Gonna coin out the free drop here, the Pet Kodo, I do believe. So pick up the litter, go with the Rinling's Rifle. Again, seems like a pretty good card. I believe it's in the deck already. It's actually not in the deck because you're running Kasakis, so always nice to get a high quality card whenever it's possible. But it does seem like they're just gonna ignore the Kodo here, which I think makes a lot of sense. Again, the Shaman deck here being the aggressor doesn't really care too much about the potential trades being set up by this free Kodo in the long run. Demon Companion, however...
2-2 with a little bit of time.
Oh, bowler shot positioning!
Very nice. Goes ahead and slaps that one down and spins out a little bit of damage to the board. Still 2-1 with another Arid Stormer to possibly join the table. But opts not to. Instead, has the pick of the Fury Menacing Nimbus. Gonna go ahead and throw a Steward of Scrolls into his hand, and the first Watch Post has been played.
It definitely does. Again, right, so I was talking about how I believe the Hunter late game to be a lot stronger. It's worth noting that there is the Cargill Battle Scar in there, right, for Pie Monster as a way to capitalize on to these Watch Posts in the later stages of the game. However, it's not really going to have that big of an impact right now. Maybe Steward of Scrolls can. It's an interesting position, right? Because, like, do you want the totem here? You get the new totem. It's actually not going to be too bad, right? Because that's going to be a free 5. Never mind. Okay.
It's just happy to be here. It's just happy to be here.
Yeah, so again, there's an interesting thing about how the deck building particularly has gone in this deck for Sasajiro, right? Because a lot of the time when you're thinking about the like the tail and pulls, you want it to be consistent with what you want it to be pulling out, right? So it's not going to have that big of an impact right now due to the nature of the fact that we are going to be seeing the Primordial Prospect already in the hand, but it is going to draw out one of those Carnival Clowns rather than the Primordial Prospect, which might have been the better option in a different time. But again, Gyro Ram to the face alongside that Windrunner here, just doing the damage, just doing the deep, spots. It's just not really coming up in the greatest of ways right now for Sasajiro, right? Has the option here to clean up a lot of things. It's worth knowing that Slate plus Wound Prey will kill this free fall, which is the primary threat presented as of right now. And along with the rush here, alongside the trade the 1/1s, the board is now very much back in control. So like this 4 damage from the Fire Elemental right now, not very impactful. There's no level burst, none of that nonsense in the game at the moment, right? So you're going to be struggling a little bit of a burst, but Fire Elemental here at least cleans up the Slade quite nicely, right? But again, just got to hammer away. Just pray it's going to be enough at the end of the day. And again, turn 7 here, very awkward turn for the Hunter. Like, we could very much be seeing just lethal come through right now next turn here, if nothing of note actually comes through. Does 6-star allow them to kill the 7/6? Depends on the Demon Companion here.
Drop
And
6. But...
just like that, the 7/6 does die. And 8 HP right now might as well just be 30. Sasajiro feeling pretty healthy right here.
Yep, happy to go ahead and clear that one away. Draws up a Kindling Elemental once again, and that's gonna go ahead and proc that Primordial, and can't do anything with it again. Actually does. Draws the Natalie Celine.
And that's the real disaster hours, right? Oh wait, here's something very interesting. The Far Watch Post means that it's impossible for Sasajiro to put down the Strongman here and has to pay the price of that specific interaction here, because without, as the lily pad lurker comes through and neglects that strongman, and wait, it's like that with the Earth Revenant. Now Sasajiro is forced to go for that. It's the only way they stay alive. Top deck, strongman as well though, so they stay in it for now. Taunts here, taunts there, taunts everywhere. Lillipad Lurker coming through yet again to neglect that. Just to neglect that. Tidal Wave can't be played. Lightning Storm again deals with pretty much everything, and I believe that's just going to be it. Lethal here, Prime Monster with the reverse sweep. We were talking about how we did not believe in this Hunter deck in the pre-game. Right, we were talking about this Hunter deck being very, very weird, and that's going to be Sasajiro being this, falling victim of their own lineup building right there. The Hunter being unable to get over the line. And again, worth noting, that Hunter could have been a mage, right? No mage brought here, had a chance again, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, Conquest is Conquest. You're only as strong as your weakest deck.
Yep, and that is actually going to complete the reverse sweep. So Pie Monster, I believe, is able to secure a playoff positioning here after taking down the third place Sasajiro. So that will be, we'll be seeing him in the playoffs section, and we'll see both these players as well. So maybe Sasajiro looks for a little bit of revenge. However, we will go ahead, go to a quick commercial break to prep for the next matchup of the evening, which I believe will also be the final match of the evening. So don't go anywhere. Go grab some snacks, go grab some water, and we'll see you here in a little bit.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable. Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Welcome back to the NECC. It's the last week before playoffs, and in our next matchup, Sun Sovereign will fight for the playoff life tonight, as a win will clinch them a spot in the playoffs next week. However, Soccer Chick will try and punch their own ticket to the playoffs with a win, and they will need a little bit of help across the league. This is the most impactful game of Hearthstone we've seen on the NECC to date. 2 playoff lives are on the line. Only one will make it out alive. Sun Sovereign, Soccer Chick, let's get it cracking. My name is Ethan Dahl. I'm probably better known as Nellhead. I'm joined by Coach Jim. Bit of a blast from the past. It's been a while.
It's been like 2 weeks.
All right, 2 weeks is a long time without hearing your sultry voice.
I don't know about sultry, but thank you for that. No, and I think you're going to be right. No holds barred in this one tonight. Both of them have something to prove. Win or go home for Sun Sovereign. Win and still possibly go home for Soccer Chick. I don't think we're going to see anybody missing lethal tonight. That's for sure. I think there's going to be a lot of math going on, and I think we might see some chances taken. I think some chances might get taken tonight.
Absolutely. We're going to see if they both leave it on the line. Some interesting decks being brought tonight. On the side of Soccer Chick, we've got this mage list. Bit of a casino mage, what we would have called it back today. Some RNG elements, Deck of Lunacy being the big one. Both players actually bringing that deck tonight. Moving on to this Rogue. Temple Rogue, we've seen a lot of it, a lot of similar lists featuring high value cards such as Swindle. I'm going to cut it off here as we are getting the bans. And you know what? Our producer Caleb called it in the pregame. Both Paladins will be taken off the table. Coach, your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's a slower deck, so if they're both looking to play a faster paced game, that would be the one to get rid of. Seeing as how they both had a similar mage deck, I was actually thinking we might see both mages get banned. I was obviously wrong, as I have to figure out how to turn this down because that's really loud in my ear right now. But no, I don't know if I agree with the Paladin bans. Because I think if you've got a mirror deck, you really, I mean, if you think it's good enough to win, then, you know, your opponent definitely thinks it is. So maybe you should just get rid of that one. But I think we'll find out.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Moving on there. So we got the mage. We've got this tempo rogue list. This is actually going to be a watch post rogue list featuring some pretty new cards. Cargo Battlescar coming in with the Morshan watch post. So Cargo Battlescar, once we get through this ban phase, we'll see how long these players played out. There's the concession. Summons a 5/5 lookout for each watch post you summon this game. Bit of a finisher, bit of a new rogue list. We're going to see how this does come through, how this does come into play. And the Druid list is a Guardian Animals big Druid beast list. We've seen it a few times. It's been solid a few times. On the other side, Sun Sovereign bringing that same mage we talked about, bringing a Hunter deck that's pretty low to the ground, featuring a lot of 1-drops, featuring Wolpertinger. Very, very solid beats, can get out of control in a hurry. On the top end, only a 5-drop, Trampling Rhino, solid way to clear the board, solid way to get some damage through to the enemy hero, can be a bit of a finisher at time. And then this rogue list on the other side, very, very interesting. Not quite sure what to make of it just yet, but we will see what comes through. Some similar components, has the Swindle, has a lot of cards that will generate some solid amount of value, but as with a lot of rogue lists, because your cards are so cheap and you combo them off, if you don't find that card draw, you're sure to run out of gas early and often.
The one I'm looking forward to looking at is the Druid. I don't like Druid decks myself, but that doesn't mean they're not good. And that one of the better iterations of Druid available at the moment.
Yeah. We will see as we're getting into the first match here. Once again, if you're just joining us, Soccer Chick and Sun Sovereign both fighting for their playoff lives tonight. Sun Sovereign a win and they're in. Soccer Chick needs to win and a solid bit of help. Sun Sovereign in the bottom of your screen, Soccer Chick on the top. Let's get it cracking. Sun Sovereign with a solid hand here to start. Looking down a few good options at 1-drop. Going to toss most of it back. Does keep the Adorable Infestation, so keep your eye on that. Is a pretty powerful play if you can develop a minion, buffing it up, getting another minion in your hand, and summoning a 1/1 minion as well. Finds an Arcane Shot for a bit of early removal. This hand for Sun Sovereign looking pretty solid.
On the other side, Soccer Chick got rid of everything that was not a starting hand you wanted to see from Mage. This one looks a lot better.
Yeah, gonna start off here with the Imprisoned Felmaw, dormant for 2 turns, but when it wakes up, by golly, you better be ready. That is a 5/4 that is ready to crack in and do some serious damage. Cram Session coming through, going to draw a card. Very smart, I think, by Soccer Chick doing this early on, trying to find some cards. If you can outpace this Hunter early on, if you can control the board early on, it's gonna run out of gas, and you will be able to win just by virtue of your deck going late.
You know, and Soccer Chick is something, I almost missed the first round because Soccer Chick immediately passed. Just immediately, did not have anything to do, round 1's immediate pass. And they're kind of waiting here. They're playing the waiting game. They've got plenty of mana. And if they're just going to play the hero power game, they're going to lose. They're going to lose that one to 100 if they just play the hero power game.
Absolutely they will. And this is actually the first week that I have been on with the new Forged in the Barrens expansion. I did miss last week due to match cancellation, so we will be seeing some new cards. Offer some grace if we're not exactly sure the interactions or once again the deck list on offset. I think some things are still kind of up in the air. What's good, what's better, what isn't. Right now, Adorable Infestation making that Fel a 6-5. That is always going to be good. A 6-5, a 1-1 on the board, threatening a lot of damage next turn, Coach. Soccer Chick has got to find an answer for this soon.
I think they have some answers in their hand. I just think they're trying to figure out what order they want to play them. That's the one I was looking at. Their Devolving Missiles. Yeah, that will definitely do work there for you.
Absolutely. Going to follow up with the Ruined Orb for a little bit of card advantage. Finding a spell on the back end. Some solid options right here to choose from. Not sure if you can really go wrong. Depends on what you're trying to do. Coach, what would you go with in this situation?
Rigged Fair Game.
All right. Rigged Fair Game. Solid
100%. 100%. I want the cards. If I'm playing Mage, I want the cards. But that's not what Soccer Chick chose, though. Went for the big damage late game.
Yeah, and we'll see if that does come through. Once again, I'm probably with you. I'm trying to draw cards. I'm trying to outpace this Hunter early on because they will run out of gas. We do see a pretty full hand at the moment. A lot of options right now. Going to go with Warsong Wrangler. Going to get a Beast. Probably going to scoop up that Trampling Rhino or the Wolpertinger. Raptor in the middle, solid, but Wolpertinger just provides bodies on the board, and we'll see that one chosen does get the buff from being discovered, so you will be able to have a bit of an army in a can right there populating the board.
And here we go, more draw card. Draw card, draws to draw card.
Okay. Brain Freeze, going to deal some damage there. Coming through with the ping down, going to pop Divine Shield, and that is the turn. Very mana efficient, going to use all the resources available, but Sun Sovereign is gearing up for a large turn of their own. Going to start with the Intrepid Initiate, going to probably trigger the Spell Burst at some point this turn or next. Following up with the Wolpertinger, there's the Pen Flinger, getting a little bit of damage right down. Tracking, being brought out, trying to find something else. Adorable Infestation solid. Warsong Wrangler also very solid to keep up the heat. You could go tracking, going to go with Infestation. That's a little bit of damage right now. It's a little bit of damage on the board, and it does trigger the spell booter there, returning Pen Flinger to hand, cracking in. Solid turn for Sun Sovereign.
And this is going to be bad because they do not have enough mana to play the Mask. And the Mask would have been huge for them there. The Mask would have been huge there because that would have got rid of most of the board, Mask of Cthulhu. They don't have the mana to play it, though. I think this one might be over.
Yeah, we're going to see how much the board they can deal with. There's Apex Blast, deals 5 damage, summons around 5 custom. If they can find some taunt, and they do, that's absolutely massive RNG right there. Brain Freeze coming through. This is going to stall the board for a little bit of time, Coach. Building up to that board wipe of 4-6 with taunt. Absolutely massive. Does have Pen Flinger in hand. We'll be able to do that a few times with the Arcane Shot double. So there's one to the face. You can do 2, 3, 4, 5 with double Arcane Shots, but they're not going to go for it. They're going to go for the Piercing Shot. And excess damage will go to the hero there, but there will be no excess. Coming through with the Demonic Companion. Does get the charge off that. That's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Still a little bit off, but double Arcane Shot in hand, along with the hero power, should be able to wrap this one up next turn.
That's just rough. And even if you clear the board, like I said, you can clear the board. Here comes Master Cthulhu, which will try to clear the board. Even if it does, it doesn't matter. You have lethal in hand.
Yeah, will clear the board. Lethal in hand, a tracking to boot. This one is going to be over in the favor of Sun Sovereign, and they will come out getting a win with their Hunter deck to right off the gate, leaving just their Mage and Rogue Glyphs left to go. Very strong start from Sun Sovereign. Coach, what are your thoughts on that game number 1?
See why they let the Mage deck go at that point. I feel like the Mage deck had, Soccer Check her Mage deck, she had a lot of cards in her hand, but she didn't have a lot of cards that could do anything. Does that make sense? Like they were just waiting. It was a lot of waiting around. You have to have a little bit more agency. Even when playing a control style deck, you have to have a little bit more agency going for you there. They never had a board. They never even were close to having board advantage. So they're going to have to find the right deck to win with that mage. It makes me even more curious as to why they banned Paladin, because that mage would have been better against a Paladin, a slower moving deck. And they could have gotten rid of something like the Hunter, which was going to move too fast for the mage to really start working.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of that Mage's deck agency based on card generation, a lot of RNG. You've got things like the Fauna Power, you've got things like Primordial Authority, you've got things like Cram Session that all generate cards, and you hope that they generate something that will be of value. And here we're going to see the Rogue come out from Sun Sovereign. Soccer Chicken run out the same list. I'm very intrigued to see how this Rogue plays out. Once again, not super settled the meta after this expansion. Rogue list, both looking very interesting, the ones that got brought to the table today. Notably, the top end of this list features Alex Strauss as the Lifebinder. On Battlecry, you choose a character. If it's friendly, restored 8 health. If it's an enemy, you deal 8 damage. Very solid on the top end to stabilize against aggro lists or to close out the game against a control style list.
Yep. And that right there is a great card for Soccer Chick to get out, reducing the cost of all spells in the deck. We're gonna find out if it's gonna be enough though, as once again you see a lot of board presence already from Sun Sovereign.
Yeah, the Neophyte coming out, also going to make Soccer Chick spells cost 1 more this next turn. Does have the coin if they want to negate it, but the coin also costs 1 more, so this is just a feels bad turn all the way around, especially after playing the spell that does discount your cards from the end of the game. Will be able to get the Ruined Orb out, which once again is big. We talk about this mage list lacking agency. A lot of that was because they couldn't find their card generation spells. They couldn't find the things like that to discover other spells, and they're going to roll out an Astromancer Solarian here. Absolutely massive if that can stay on the board, providing the spell power. We're going to see how that's handled here by Sun Sovereign. And they will be trading in, it looks like, for the most part here. Jandis Barrow here at turn 4 could be absolutely massive. We're going to see how this ends up, because this is an easy way to end the game if you get some big threats coming through. Firework Elemental, Stranglehorn Tiger, not quite what they were looking for, but it's still a lot of damage potential. That is 8, 9, it's 9, or math is tough, 10 damage with that Jandis Barrow next turn in total. You got 5 coming Stranglehorn and 5 on the other side when you add them up. That's a lot of damage potential, Coach. Soccer Chick feeling the heat a little bit right now.
Absolutely. And I don't know, do you want to guess? I don't know if you want to guess. Is guessing what you want to do right now, or do you want to get rid of a known threat? I don't know. It's a problem at the moment. And with no board presence at all, what do you even do? What do you do right now with no board presence?
Yeah, it's hard. Going to start with the Fire Blast to get rid of the 2-1, get rid of that Jandis Barrow. Coin coming through, and there's a Fireball to deal with the 3-5. So still 6 damage on the board, going to be put to 23 at a minimum. The hand still looming large as well. A lot of opportunities, mostly I have my eyes on what looks like is about to be played right here. This new Kazakus that assembles golems. So we're going to see this 4-cost, no 4-cost cards. We're going to see a golem come through. It's going to be put in hand. So basically, you to build a minion. If you're familiar with old Kazakus, you could build your own spell. Very similar. You choose all the attributes of your minion. You choose the mana cost. You choose when you'll be able to play it. And it looks like we'll be building a 5-cost minion. Very solid. Divine Shield on Battlecry is going to draw 2 cards, 5/5 for 5. That's a threat that gives card advantage. That's going to be absolutely massive for Sun Sovereign in this game.
Yeah. Once again, the board position on this one, even though it's not as much damage that has come through, I think Sun Sovereign is in a much better position right now. And as we saw when that Fireball went through, the 3-5 there was the fake. So that is a true 5/5 there on the Stranglethorn Tiger.
Yeah, and we're going to see Deck of Lunacy played here, Coach. So we have just turned this one into a clown fiesta. All cards in hand are now random spells. They cost practically nothing, 3 less. So we're now just top decking. Soccer Chick has to hope that there's something in the deck that can win the game. There's something in the deck that can stabilize, because this can be a bit of a risky move, but you got to do something here. As Greater Golem coming through, going to be able to draw 2. Foxy Fraud, absolutely massive. Going to toss out the Blood Mage Thanos as well. Absolutely classic legend. They're cracking in for damage. Going to be put to 18 here.
Top deck.
Notably.
Hey, Libram of Hope.
Wow.
top decking like a boss. I tell people all the time, there's one way, simple way, top deck like a pro. Think about what you need and then draw it off the top of your deck. That's how you do it, folks, right there.
Wise word from Coach Jim. Penflinger could not have come at a better time dealing with that Divine Shield coming through. There's the Brain Freeze, going to deal 4 damage off the bat, going to get the Penflinger back, probably going to fling that pen right at that 8-4, bring it down. Then you can trade in with the Kazakus. May have spells. Just going to try to fully go for a Penflinger clear potentially. Swindle going to turn to hand. There's a Shadow Step, so you can just use Penflinger to clear this. We'll see what they do end up doing. Not going to go with Penflinger. Wandmaker coming through. Going to get a 1-cost spell from their class. Yoink coming through. That is a fun one. And going to be finished off by the prize plunder right there. Big turn for Sun Sovereign. This one not looking great for Soccer Chick. Gonna need some more top deck magic.
Here we go. So let's see what they can do.
Oh, we're gonna bring the Kazakhs back to hand. Thinking about it, wants another golem, would protect it from a board wipe, keeps it out there. Sun Sovereign with a bit of a riskier play, playing into a board wipe a little more than maybe they would want to, but I definitely respect the decision, putting the cards on the board, seeing where they may fall. Sun Sovereign not afraid of Soccer Chick's hand, nor their top decks.
And Runic Carving, not a bad card in this situation. You know, it gets four minions on the board. Not a terrible card there.
Yeah. We're going to see what Soccer Chick is able to think of this turn. 7 mana available. Thinks about starting right there, coach, but will go with the ring toss, seeing what secret they can get. Did not quite catch what they got the first time. Think about the mirror entity there.
Counterspell.
I might go with the mirror
first
entity.
one was.
Counterspell was the first one?
And the second one is the Netherwind Portal.
Yeah. Netherwind Portal there. Going with the Runic Carvings. As you said, not a bad option. Going to get some beef on the board where it should be. Able to trade out a decent. Probably going to go, double trading there. So yeah, doesn't use the Shadow Step. Will get punished for that somewhat. Not able to get a second activation out of that Kazakus. Not able to build a second Golem. Going to crack in. Trying to trigger these spells. We're going to see if they can figure out its counterspell. Secret Passage. Maybe what you want to play. I probably want to trigger it on my Shadow Step. Penflinger going to come through here. Doing 1 damage to face most likely. Netherwind Portal and Counterspell both activate on the cast of a spell. So we're going to see what spell that is. Not going to find it just yet. Wand Thief coming through, going to discover another spell. This could end up badly if they try to play that right away. You got to start with the Shadow Step. You got to start with something else. Even go with the Yoink. I may have started with the Yoink. Shadow Step going to get countered. Random minion will be coming through. We're going to see what's developed on board. Oh, doesn't get activated. I guess it doesn't trigger because the counterspell takes it away. I figured to be on activation, but tough break for Soccer Chick there. Not going to find any board development. I think Sun Sovereign might know what they just got away with, and they may not play anything, but going to go with the face, dealing 6 damage, and puts Soccer Chick to 2. Out comes the portal. We're going to see what it is. not going to be able to do a whole ton with that. Penflinger to the face, and that's actually going to be lethal. I did not find that Penflinger lethal right there. Amazing stuff by Sun Sovereign.
And once again, just Soccer Chick just couldn't keep up. The deck is just a little bit slow. And if you know your deck is slow, that's why I'm still sitting here going, why did you ban Paladin? If your deck is slow, why did you ban Paladin? That's what you wanted to play against with a slow deck. You would have had all the time in the world. All the time in the world. Would have been great. Would have been fun. We would have had a good time.
And we now have our mirror match, coach. We have the same exact mage list going head to head.
Nope. And I was going to ask you if you thought Soccer Chick was going to bring mage out again. And I don't know what you were going to say, but I was hoping she didn't. She's got to put that in her back pocket.
I wanted it. It was wishful thinking. I wanted the mirror match. Sun Sovereign, we were playing this control list. How do you feel about the Druid, though, into this mage? Is that what you would have chosen, given the other options available?
Yes.
You do have the rogue list.
100%. 100%. This is probably the strongest deck they had remaining after the Paladin. And they've got so much mana ramp in their hand right now. It's actually kind of disgusting how much mana ramp they started the game with.
Yeah, starting with the coin is big, but don't sleep on Sun Sovereign's hand either. That Flame Strike can be absolutely massive. Overgrowth being brought out here. Next turn is going to be big. Double Brain Freeze, so there is a lot of removal potential as well in Sun Sovereign's hand. Probably should start by playing that 2-drop in the middle that does reduce the cost of spells in your deck by 1. Just get things going here early on. But going in the tank, you know, this is why they're playing the game. We're just talking about it at home. But Incanters probably going to be dropped here. Oh, alas, Ruined Orb. The face is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Going to discover a spell right there, trying to get some value right off the bat.
You know, it's going to get really interesting here because everything in their hand is so expensive. But getting the mana ramp into the extra mana crystals that early is pretty huge.
Yeah, and Devolving Missiles was the spell gained off the back end of that, which is very solid. Going to go to the face again. So Sun Sovereign not playing around, 2 spells to the face, decides not to play the Incanters. Very, very interesting. That Incanter's Flow, in my opinion, is what I am playing first. It generates me a lot of value over the long run of this game. We're going to see what happens here. Soccer has some opportunity to develop on the board first.
And I don't know if they're going to. I think they kind of have to. But it looks like they're thinking about it. It looks like they're thinking about what they want to do here. I'm like, there's not a lot to think about. Put down your minion. Get board pressure. You don't want to waste mana. You don't want to waste it. There we go.
Lake Thresher coming through, 4-6 for 5, great at controlling the board. Not fantastic in this matchup, particularly still holding on to that Incanter's Flow, which once again, little bit questionable in my mind. I'm trying to get that out as soon as possible. Think about opportunities here. Devolving Missiles, Brain Freeze being hovered over, Sun Sovereign. They have a lot of choices. We're going to see which one is the best one in their mind. Really hovering. Incanter's Flow finally going to come through here. You could go flow into your hero power.
Is it? It is. Okay.
It's got to be. It's got to be. It's got to be. But at some point, you have to.
They hovered.
Yeah, so that does get dropped into a Brain Freeze right there, preventing damage.
Jeez.
Pretty efficient turn right there. And
Oh
my big
God.
thing is you hold on to the removal, and you're kind of coaxing Soccer Chick and developing the board right there, right? You freeze that, you say, all right, Soccer Chick, put more on. This Flame Strike is coming whether you know it or not.
And this is going to get super interesting because they have the extra mana and everything in their hand is massive.
Yeah.
Everything in their hand is massive. And with the Enervate, they're going to be able to play it a little bit early.
Yeah, we're going to see the Fireball coming through. Probably just going to hit the face with the hero power right there. Take away the armor. Will do just that. Continuing to play out their hand. In comes Spring Water. Drawing 2 cards. Another Devolving Missiles. This hand is looking absolutely stacked right now. Sun Sovereign, Primordial coming through. Astromancer Solarian is not bad. Bloodmage Thanos is not bad. They fill similar roles. Do give you some spell damage. Do generate some card advantage. Solarian in the long run. Bloodmage Thanos pretty instant. Will go with the Thanos, popping it out right now. It does seem. Wouldn't be surprised to see that Brain Freeze used to finish off the minion, and will do just that. Very solid turn. Sun Sovereign maintaining a pretty clean board right now.
And with that draw there, they can hold on to that Enervate now. I was gonna say you've used the Enervate to play an 8-drop, but now they can just play a 7-drop here on turn 5. Which is crazy to think about, that you can play a 7-drop on turn 5.
Yeah, we're going to see if they decide to do just that. Yeah, crazy indeed if you think about doing the Enervate. But they're going to
Enervate
here.
They're going to go, oh, here we go. Here we go.
Right. So Enervate into Primordial Protector, going to draw the highest cost spell and summon a random minion. Will get a 7/7 right there come through. Another Devolving Missiles. We've got 3 of those in hand, Coach. There is so much to deal with the boards coming through, and Devolving Missiles will come through. Very, very wise. Go into all 3, gonna hit the 7/7, and leaves them with a 4/10 with taunt. Second Devolving Missiles coming through, hoping for better outcomes right there. And the third one gets blown as well. If it doesn't work, try again. And that's finally the result they're probably looking for. Combustion will be able to take care of this entire board due to the spell power, but all of resources used for Sun Sovereign, probably not worth it there, Coach.
Well, especially when they got more beef coming out. I mean, from here on out, it's going to be beefcake, beefcake, beefcake.
Yeah, and we're going to see this come through. There is the attack triggering the frenzy and draw right here. Fauna Power coming through. We'll use that right away. Going to find some minions. Hopefully they're good ones. Babbling Book may be able to find something, but overall not really what they were looking for on the back end of that one. Brain Freeze not doing a whole ton right here. Ring Toss could be solid, but not really finding the answers they're looking for. Sun Sovereign may drop a game and miss out on the sweep here.
Yeah, no, I think this one's looking really good for Sasajiro, better than any other round we've seen so far. Oh man. Yeah. So what do we want to do? Whatever you want to do.
All the options are good.
I mean, at this point, you could actually delay a turn here, and you could use the Lightning Bloom to get that survival of the fittest out. I mean, or you could just wait. That's fine. I mean, doesn't hurt anything. I just think that's crazy. Oh my God, this is getting disgusting. This is getting super disgusting right here. Sasajiro, everything they could possibly have ever dreamed of or wanted in their hand right now.
Absolutely. Flame Strike, though, will be big if they decide to use it here on the board. Able to clear it out, but you're absolutely right. Sasajir's hand, coach, is just so big right now and so hard to come back from. Sun Sovereign is going to have to draw perfectly, and not only that, they're going to need some perfect RNG down the stretch.
Survival of the fittest comes out, and actually they could Lightning Bloom into both of those animated broomsticks. They choose not to. That could have been dirty, though.
Cram Session being thought about here, and will probably be used trying to draw some cards. 3 cards picked up right there. Another Flame Strike. That's big. There's a Fireball. If we're trying to end the game, Primordial picked up. Studies is dropped. Egwin the Guardian gives +2 more spell damage. We'll scoop that up. Cost reduced by 1. Able to drop that. The Fireball is hitting for a lot right now, and not going to go with it. Will indeed refresh some of the mana crystals, drawing 2 cards with the Spring Water. There it is right there. Going to refresh some more mana crystals. Has a lot of opportunities. The Blast doing a lot of damage. Fireball doing a lot of damage. There's a lot of direct damage in hand, and all of a sudden Sun Sovereign may have a way to find an answer to win this game. Doesn't quite find the meaning they're looking for. Just a 3-2 off the back end of that.
I'm trying to figure out right now why they didn't Lightning Bloom into those 2 brooms. There was no reason not to. The Lightning Bloom right now, you're maxed at mana. There's no reason for you not to have played that to get out 2 5/5s last turn, is there?
Not that I can tell.
I mean, that is how that works, right? I mean, I've been wrong on stuff before, but that would have worked, correct?
Breaking news, Coach Jim has been wrong before at least once. We can confirm at least once.
At least once.
I don't think more than that.
But I just want to know, like getting 2 5/5s out basically for free on a turn and keeping board presence when board presence has been what has killed you the entire game.
Yeah, we're going to see the brooms come through right here. 2 5/5s with Rush. So they do slow play. And that could be the thought process because they have Rush. You do want to save them to trade out. But I'm 100% on the same page with you, Coach. Would have liked to see the board presence come through. Probably not going to matter ultimately in the long run. Just such a dominant position. Deck of Lunacy could potentially maybe find something to win this game. But it's the only real hope they have right now. Yeah, I think you got to start with this Flame Strike coming through. Wipe the board down a little bit. Then you got 4 mana left to play with. Could be a Deck of Lunacy play. Could not be. You could try to develop some secrets. Either way, you're still staring down a whole lot of damage on the other end. At 28 health, still pretty healthy. Deck of Lunacy will be coming through here into the Ring Toss, trying to find some secrets to prevent damage. What will we find? Counterspell, Ice Barrier, my 2 options right here. Although Mirror Entity could be big, and will go
Mirror Entity is huge.
That's solid.
Huge. That's massive.
I might go with Ice Barrier, but Counterspell is actually pretty bad. Don't do it.
Oasis Ally is what you want right now. It's going to keep you alive for that Deck of Lunacy to top deck you what you need.
Yeah, the 3/6. I guess I didn't think about the freeze potential off of the elemental that you do get from that. The Mirror Entity could prove to be massive, provided they don't find any small minions that are able to be blown on. And Survival of the Fittest is going to be dropped right here, right now, and that is the only reason you could have thought about the counter spell. The attack coming through. There is the Ice Spear that was chosen, going to buy them an extra turn. Deck of Lunacy. What have you got? Everyone, knock the top of the deck for good luck. Oh, Sprint! Very solid here. Fireball on the table. You're thinking about face damage. That's the only way you're able to win this game. School of Spirits, Assassinate, very good. Mask of Cthulhu, oh, and a Libram! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that's why this game needed to end. It needed to end. It needed to end 2 turns ago.
Deck of Lunacy coming through so big right now. Assassinate. There that is. Let's draw some more cards. That's my vote. Let's get a little more here though. Libram, very solid. Mask of Cthulhu, just deal 10 damage to face, and that's lethal next turn. Fireball plus ping. Just play the Mask of Cthulhu. Just do it. It's just that easy. That's 10 damage. Bop, 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 bop. Times 10. Oh, Sun Sovereign, just do it. Brother,
calm it down, Ethan.
Ethan,
calm it down. It's
there
okay, Ethan. It's
Coach,
okay.
Coach, I can't have Miss Lethal to qualify for the playoffs. Arcade Intellect, you can play it, you can ping phase. It doesn't really matter because Sun Sovereign's got Lethal in hand.
It's gonna be interesting, that is for sure.
I don't think there's anything that can be done here. You got to find some life gain. Armor up, I guess, is the only thing you can do, and makes me question why Sun Sovereign didn't ping phase. So that 1 armor will buy Soccer Chick 1 turn right there. Secret coming through. Mirror Entity gonna say, hey, anything you can do, I can do better. And that ping is gonna hurt.
But what I want to know is the Druid of the Plains. 15-14 with Rush and frenzies into a taunt. Why is that not your choice?
Yeah, I mean, Rush can't
15
hit face.
damage?
No, Rush can't hit face right away. That's
My apologies.
Yeah.
Chart. I got it backwards. My bad.
You're
That's
good.
on me.
You're good.
That's on me.
And it's a solid start, but I mean, Sun Sovereign, if you find a way to lose this game, the only one you have to blame is yourself. You could have just pinged last turn. You knew the armor was coming. The fireball, the ping. Soccer Chick's going down to 1 right here, and that 1 damage, if for whatever reason that ends up making a difference, Sun Sovereign is going to be kicking themselves at the end of this game. Ping should definitely be hitting face. Unless you find somebody to remove, and they're going to hit there and trade in. I'm not understanding this line of play entirely. You've got the Fireball in hand. You could put them to 1 and going to play out the Glowfly Storm, put up a big board. It's probably not going to matter in the end. Going to drop some buffs. This Fireball, it's not going to matter. Sun Sovereign's Deck of Lunacy was absolutely madness, but we had a Miss Lethal yet in the end. Ring Toss coming through. Counterspell, the only choice to be chosen there. Oasis Ally looked like the second we picked up. But when it's all said and done, it looks like Sun Sovereign will be walking home. I didn't see the Carnival Clown in hand.
There's 2 of them. There's 2 of them, Ethan. Carnival Clown. There were 2 Carnival Clowns in hand.
Sun Sovereign just fireball face and ping. It was just that easy. It was just that easy. You can Libram your face now, but you got to find the pings. And man, Sun Sovereign, I don't know if they're going to be able to find the win here. You can take out 1 clown. You can School of Spirits to shuffle something back into your deck to make sure you don't take fatigue damage. But I'm not sure if any of that is going to truly matter. Coach, what's the death rattle on the bottom left taunt minion for me, for those poverty viewers here on screenshotting on Discord and not actually in client?
What was your question?
The death rattle right there on the bottom left. Draw your highest cost.
Draw your highest cost minion.
It's not even going to matter right now. So, Soccer Chick, you have to fireball, face, ping. You've got to Libram. Was that the choice on the Libram? I don't even know. I'm questioning everything I've ever known about math my entire life, which admittedly, chat, is not a whole lot. Fire Blast going to the face, but once again, you are still a turn out. You missed Lethal 2 turns ago, and Sun Sovereign, you're going to continue paying for it.
Well, and something now they could do is now the Druid of the Plains is a great card.
Yeah.
Because you can get rid of the Talon Ordering. Just get rid of it. Or you can clown again. I don't know, Ethan, are you down to clown?
I am always down to clown. The dollar menu at McDonald's may not be what it used to be, but it's still solid, Coach. We're going to see, thinking about it right here, there's a lot of taunt in the way, and
There is a lot of taunt.
are known.
Well, and let's be honest, Strongman for nothing. They could do a lot of things here. They could get 2 massive minions out. Utterly massive minions out.
They just have to remember to armor up. If they don't hero power, they lose.
And they'll still have it. They could play Strongman, they could play Druid of the Plains, and they could armor up, and they'd still have 1 mana remaining.
Yeah, I see that. I just got to make sure that Soccer Chick knows what they're playing around.
And they're
there is
gonna
the
clown. And that means they
comes
can't
to-
armor. There's no armor.
Oh, and there's the mirror image. No armor for Soccer Chick. And Sun Sovereign is going to escape and punch their ticket to the playoffs by the absolute skin of their teeth. Miss Lethal 3 turns ago. Soccer Chick unable to punish, and as a result, she will be watching the playoffs from home. Sun Sovereign, congrats, you're moving on.
That one, a good one right there, at least for us watching. But I agree with you. Sun Sovereign made some mistakes, got lucky on some draws there. Deca Lunacy, that's what it's all about, is getting lucky.
Smash.
And but I think there were a couple of misplays there by Soccer Chick. You know, I hate to Monday morning quarterback, but there were a couple of misplays there. They held on to those Carnival Clowns way too long. Way too long. There was a lot they could have done there if they had a full board. Because they were nickel and diming it. And then some of the plays at the end, I don't know if Clown was the play at the end. I don't know if it was.
Not. I think that armoring up, even if you don't know they've exactly Fireball, is just a proper move against a mage. You know the only way they can win. Here's the thought process. You might not know that Fireball's in their hand, but you know what you do know, Coach? You do know that Fireball's a card that you lose to, and there's no way you lose the game unless they have exactly Fireball. So,
well, and
armoring
here's
up there,
the other thing, is that if you could still have played Druid of the Plains and Strongman and Armored. If you were worried about your board presence, you still could have done all of that. You would have had the rush. You could have taken out their big minion.
Yeah.
It would have transformed into it would have had taunt on the transform, so you still got the taunt. And you'd have the Strongman out, which at that point was a 14/14 that you paid 0 for. It was painful. It was painful to watch. Our producer in the back when the clowns came out, his words were, "The clowns against the bugs," was, "What is that board?" That was the question. It was, what is that board? It was a crazy looking board, and everything went away in the end. Sun Sovereign, though, like you said, punched their ticket in, and that's all they needed to do tonight. So we do feel bad, Soccer Chicks. Got to be going home tonight. Somebody had to go home, though. It was somebody's turn to go home, and tonight it was Soccer Chicks.
Yes, somebody had to go home, Coach, and I think that it's our time to go home here. We're going to send everyone to a quick break, but I believe we do have one more match. No? Got scrapped, so everyone is going home. You're not sticking around. We will see you next time for some NECC playoffs. It's going to be a blast. Everyone at home, have a blessed night.